Hello, Internet. I'm Matt.
And I'm Monster Punter.
And this is the Parallax podcast, where we talk about video games and other things. And I would give you our normal intro, but I am so freaking ticked, I can't think straight. So, we normally talk about other things. We normally talk about other things before we get into the news, but I have to address this one news story first so I can have a wonderful, decent time on this podcast. Can you help me here?
No.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to go anyways. Why, Capcom? Why? You killed my interest in Dragon's Dogma 2 so stinking fast. I've lost it. So they never mentioned a single one of these things, and had they done so before the game even came out, I don't think it would do anywhere near as well as it's doing now. But Dragon's Dogma 2 came out this last week, and so did the 21 microtransactions that follow suit. One of them being $2 to alter the look of your character or get a new character. Now, I looked it up, and I got to bring this up here because, okay, I'm calm. All right. There is a way in the game for you to change your appearance. All right? But here's how this works. In order for you to change your hair, 10,000 gold. In order for you to change your makeup, 10,000 gold. In order for you to change your markings or tattoos, 10,000 gold. You want to change multiple things, 25,000 gold. You're not doing this at the beginning of the game. Ain't no way.
Mm-hmm.
So what they do, they let you spend $2 so you can edit it, but also $2 to get another character. I'm livid. I'm livid. I'm absolutely livid. I'm sorry.
Okay, all right. So, as the level-headed one in the room,
I'm calming down.
moment,
I'm calming down.
I'll say simply this much: the list of microtransactions and what they were, some of them not really that big of a deal. Like the music soundtrack, things like that. That if you want the music soundtrack, you want to pay $3 for it, whatever.
5 consumable res items. 5.
Yeah.
Once you use them, they're gone. And it costs you real money. I'm calm down.
So, if there's a way to get them in the game normally, I'm less inclined to call these bad, but I don't think that these should be offered in general in the first place. It all speaks to, for me, there's no such thing as cheat codes anymore. It's all, we're selling our cheat codes nowadays.
Yeah.
We don't do that anymore. If you want unlockable characters, that's $5.
I'm so... This is infuriating. I was so excited for this game. Like, you listened to me talk about it last week.
Yeah.
I was excited to get this game. Now, because of this game has gone into my we'll buy it $20 bin. So when it gets to $20, then I'll pick it up. Until then, you messed up, Capcom. And if you pull this nonsense with Monster Hunter Wilds, you will know my fury.
Your fury in being a downvote.
No, I will do something. I will do something.
Listen. I don't like microtransactions as much as the next guy, but I think some of them are okay as far as like the soundtrack and stuff. But at the end of the day, selling revives is kind of not cool. Selling the fact that you can make a new character is just no. Why are you doing that?
You can sell. There's also harpy lures. You can lure the harpy monsters to a spot. Like, why? But it's bad. It's just a bad decision. And in terms of like the music and what, so many companies do. Hey, you want the music? You want the art book? Cool. Here's extra DLC. That doesn't bother me. So okay. So we have 2 possible microtransactions that don't matter. It's the other 19 that are a problem.
No, I get it. Yeah.
19.
Let me be perfectly clear. I'm not defending Dragon's Dogma here
not.
by any stretch of the imagination, but what I am saying is that, I mean, there's got to be a better way to make money than this. There's got to be a better way.
Yeah.
I mean, you're paying a full price game. If this was a free-to-play game, that stuff still sucks.
But it makes more sense.
It makes more sense, and it still is exploitative anyway, in my opinion.
It is.
But you're paying a full price game, and then there's all these microtransactions. Do you remember the last game that had a ton of microtransactions? Well, there's a lot of them that do nowadays, but there was one that was more notorious than others.
Star Wars Battlefront 2.
No, even worse than that. Evolve.
Oh, that's right. But no, but Battlefront 2 came after, so it had.
Oh well, yeah, okay.
So when you said recent, I was yeah. No, Evolve was pretty bad too, but no, yeah. Oh gosh.
Evolve had like $200 in microtransactions day one.
Yeah, and no, but Battlefront 2 was terrible.
Yeah.
That's why EA lost the Star Wars license. It's because they pulled that nonsense, and Disney was like, no.
I'd be happy without any Star Wars games.
Yeah,
anyway,
Anyhow, okay, back on track. Welcome to the Parallax Scrolling Podcast, where we give you our perspective on video games and the news that affects them. There, I finally got it out of my system. I'm a little better now. How have things been this week for you?
It's busy season at work, so it's terrible.
Okay. Yeah, this week's been pretty good. You know, like not like stellar, but not terrible at all. I got to celebrate my parents' 55th wedding anniversary this week.
Very cool.
Got to see my niece that I haven't seen in a long time. Got to see her and got to visit and
nice.
Yeah. So it was a good time, and I still haven't gotten to Geofield. I'm gonna get there. I don't want to waste my Game Pass though, and because they snuck the renewal on me, I got until the 8th. So after the solar eclipse, I will be able to I'll be able to play Dealfield. If the world's still standing. I don't know if you've been hearing that nonsense.
Oh,
but
yeah.
But yeah, it's other I've been just trying to play what games I got. I went back to Skull. Only because I've had it on my PC for so long and I never touched it. So I'm finally playing through it again, and they most of the stuff I had unlocked on the Xbox version, they now have like hidden, like it before it was just like, oh, you just stumble upon it and here it is, cool. Now it's like, hey, there's this dude, and if you use the currency that you use to level up your stats and stuff with, if you use this instead, you can buy these things from him. It's like the game's got its own little microtransactions, but they're kind of appropriate for the way the game works. But it's just like. That skull's not that important. Why do I want that power-up's not that important? Why do I want to give you money for that? Whatever. Maybe for a collector. But other than that, yeah, just been not hardcore gaming as much as I'd like to. Gotta get back to it.
I'll be playing some more games here shortly once busy season really gets finished.
That should be done in like 2-3 weeks. Hopefully.
Yeah, something like that.
So, hold on for all our intense game loving news stuffs. Yeah. Anyhow, let's talk about our comments. We only got one this time, but it's from that one dude. Because I'd asked everybody like, "What are your favorite super moves and stuff?" Because that's what we were asked.
Yeah.
Bounce the question back. He didn't answer the question. He didn't answer the question.
That's okay.
But he did give us a comment, which we still appreciate. So if you have a comment, put it in the comment section so we can talk about it. Because we want to talk about what you guys have to say. So, as he states, to be honest, I haven't played many SNK fighting games, but I feel like that is going to change when City of Wolves comes out. It looks really good. I love the comic book art style they have going for the game. I am looking forward to 2025. It's going to be a good year for fighting games with this and the League of Legends fighting game coming out. Yeah, that game actually looks Like, okay, I don't like League of Legends. I'm not a League of Legends player.
I am not a League of Legends player either.
I've played League of Legends, but I'm not.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. This game looks fun, and the characters look cool.
I mean, it looks like it's worth trying at the very least.
Absolutely, and I know they're also thinking about an MMO in that world. So we'll see how that plays out. But
yeah, Riot's gonna.
Riot's got some plans.
The Riot has, this property that's really huge, and they're gonna try to. It's like Nintendo saying, "Hey, we have this character named Mario, and we're gonna put him in everything except for plumbing." He doesn't do plumbing at all.
He started doing plumbing.
When?
Mario Brothers.
No.
He's in a sewer.
A sewer? There's pipe. Never mind. It's not really what it is. When turtles start coming through my sewer pipes, then maybe I'll start to believe it.
Anyhow.
And crabs.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
If you have crabs in your sewer pipes, you got bigger problems. But yeah, no, thank you, that one dude. Yeah, we are looking forward to those games too. It's gonna be a lot of fun. In fact, we were just looking at Granblue Fantasy Rising again, and they just released 2B from Nier. Actually, solid fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. I think definitely an exploitable character in many ways, but it's 2B. It's exactly who she is. So,
yep,
cool beans to that. Yeah. So, if you got comments, questions, anything you want to throw at us, leave it in the comments down below. And if you happen to hear this on some audio station instead, find us on the YouTube channel. Put comments there. Because I don't know if the audio station, I don't know if the audio stations will have. I don't know if they'll have ability to put comments. I'm not that technically savvy. So, anyhow, time for news. We don't have a whole lot of time today, so we don't have and thankfully there's not a lot of news to really go on and on about. However, I do have one. Other than the Dragon's Dogma 2 rant that I'm trying to not remember, so that I can talk about things in a better way. Larian Studios has come out and stated there will be no DLC for Baldur's Gate 3. There will be no Baldur's Gate 4 from them. They're moving on. They are fully done with D&D in general. And this was spoken at, let's see if I can find it, the Game Developers Conference. The studio's founder, Sven Vinky, I think is how you say his last name. I apologize if I said that wrong. This is his full, I'm just going to give the full quote from Kotaku. I told you at the beginning that we were a company of big ideas. We are not a company that's made to create DLCs or expansions. We tried that actually a few times, and it failed every single time. It's not our thing. Life is too short and our ambitions are very large. And so, like Gustav, which was the name for BG3, Baldur's Gate will always have a warm spot in our hearts. We'll forever be proud of it, but we're not going to continue in it. We're not going to make new expansions, which everybody's expecting us to do. We're not going to make Baldur's Gate 4, which everybody's expecting us to do. We're going to move on. We're going to move away from D&D, and we're going to start making a new thing. I'm saying it here because I have a forum, and we're getting bombarded by people that expect us to do these things, but that's not for us. It's going to be up to Wizards of the Coast, because it's their IP, to find somebody to take over the torch. We think we did our job, and so, for us, it's time to get a new puppy.
Hey, every studio eventually wants to do their own thing. I completely get it.
I'm fully in support. I'm fully in support. And it's like, to use a outdated TV reference, Seinfeld. TV show Seinfeld. Do you know why Jerry Seinfeld canceled the show when he did?
No.
He purposely canceled the show then because he wanted to leave on a high note. He didn't want to get the show burnt out in people's brains. He didn't want any of that. He wanted to avoid burnout of his IP, so he ended the show. He walked away. And so people love Seinfeld. It's their beloved TV show because they wanted to go on forever. And That can't happen. That's not feasible. So in Larry's perspective, I think it's a great idea. They're very creative people. They want to do other things. More power to you. Yeah, absolute support.
Best of luck, but you heard it here first, folks. If their next IP is not successful, they'll go back to the well. They'll make another D&D one.
I don't know. I mean, if you see, just from that simple response of, the reason why we don't do DLCs anymore is because we tried it and it didn't work. It just means that they'll go on to the next thing. They're going to go on to the next thing and the next thing. I don't think this studio is that mainstream enough to care.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I only have one thing to talk about today
That's
that
fine.
I found interesting this week. There is a Hall of Fame in Rochester, New York. It's called the New York's Strong National Museum of Play, and they induct video games into their Hall of Fame. I have a list of all those games here, and I'm interested on what people think on this one because I think some of them deserve to be here, some of them don't. I'm going to give just an overview.
So we definitely want some audience participation on this one.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I'm not going to go over every game. It's on GameSpot. You can go check it out yourself.
Unless you want to read off the titles and get my opinion.
Well, I'm not going to read off every title. Well, fine.
Fine.
I'll do it.
I do it to you.
Okay.
I do it to you. This is your chance to do it to me.
All right.
Okay? I'm allowing you this one time.
Yes, no. Should it be on this list? Yes, no, and a short blurb about it. Tetris.
Okay. Yes, game's awesome.
Why?
I love Tetris.
Doom.
Yes. Amazing first person. It really started a genre.
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man, yes, because it started arcade fever.
Okay, let me just back up here for a second. My opinion on these three, we'll do three at a time. I think Tetris is really the granddad of all your puzzle games.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it totally deserves to be on here. It's been called the best game ever made several times. And it's just iconic. Is it the best puzzle game in my opinion? No, but it's definitely deserving to be
I actually went back and started playing Tetris 99 again. And Tetris is so much fun.
It can certainly be. Doom is, just like Tetris, the granddad of all first-person shooters. It wasn't the first. They made the Wolfenstein game before this one, but it essentially started a whole genre of first-person shooters. Definitely deserves to be on here.
Mm-hmm. Pac-Man
Fever, you brought that up. Pac-Man, iconic. The Maze games and all the ones that have come ever since. There are games. These kind of games like Pac-Man are ones that I can still go back to today and play.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but every now and again I can go back and I'll sink at least a few hours into something like this.
Nostalgia hits the right spots here.
Junior Pac-Man being my favorite of all those types of games. Next, Pong.
Yes, should be here. The originator. Let's do it.
I don't know if I'd call it the originator,
but
but
would people think of it as the origin? What's the one game that really got video games going? It wasn't Space War. It was Pong.
The first mainstream video game.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I would agree. And did you know, factoid about this one, the creator of Pong...
James Pong?
Yes, James Pong. This was not a finished product. Atari released it before it was finished, which, newsflash, they did many times over.
Yeah.
Super Mario Brothers.
Yes.
Yeah.
What can you say other than yes, this absolutely belongs here because it was the first true 2D platformer that people were heavily invested in.
I think there's been other platformers before, Donkey Kong namely. But this is the first modern platformer, I would say, in a sense, where you have the levels and they're scrolling and other things like that.
Yeah.
Where prior to this, you had Donkey Kong, You had like Popeye, other things like that.
Yeah, but those were very
screen.
very one screen, simplistic.
Yes.
Where Super Mario Bros. Was totally not.
World of Warcraft.
Yes. I mean, it brought MMOs into popularity. Again, there's been plenty of MMOs before it, but this is the one that really got people like the general masses involved in MMOs. So, okay.
Does it deserve to be on here? Probably. Did I put a lot of hours into it?
Yes.
Do I think that there's others that are possibly more deserving than World of Warcraft? Yes.
Oh,
namely, EverQuest. EverQuest is the one that really started to take them mainstream.
Here's the thing. I would agree to that if the because I think that's in an arcade cabinet that they have there from what it looked like from the pictures. If the Pizza Hut thing still worked, then I would you just sit there and playing EverQuest in the Hall of Fame and getting pizza. That'd be cool.
There you go. GTA 3.
No.
You don't think it deserves to be?
No, I don't. I think GTA, if you're going to put a GTA in, GTA 1 deserves to be in here because it's what literally started this whole concept of, let's just walk around the city and do whatever we want. There's missions to do, but let's steal cars and cause chaos because that's fun. GTA 3, the only reason it's in there is because it's the first 3D one. And there were games that were doing this before GTA 3. So
I would argue people will say it's kind of like the father of modern open world.
I think this game is highly overrated.
I think it's overrated too. But let me point this out.
Yeah.
I would not consider this the grandfather of open world games. I would call something like Ultima or something like that.
Yeah.
MMOs are technically more open world than GTA 3 ever was.
Absolutely. This would be considered the father of single player open world, but even then, okay, next.
Legend of Zelda.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, what is there to say about that?
It was technically the first action RPG.
No, I think Adventure might qualify as that on Atari.
I don't know. I don't know if I consider that an RPG. This one was more like you get this. This involved you changing out weapons and items and battle planning, and this had a much grander sense of adventure than Adventure did.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but
so that's why I would say
it deserving to be on the list regardless.
Yes.
Okay, so the next one.
Mm-hmm.
The Oregon Trail. You died of dysentery.
Does it give me dysentery?
Yes.
Then I don't want it in there.
Do you want to ford the river and die? Because that's what I always did.
No. If I ever played the Oregon Trail, my thing would have been to stay in the town that you started in. and just live a happy life.
So when I played this, the Oregon, on the Apple II computers in
Apple
school,
II.
Holy cow. I would load up on bullets.
Just go shoot stuff.
I always just go hunting. We were we're not buying any food. We're buying bullets, and we're gonna go shoot our food. That's how we're gonna get there.
That could have worked.
That never got there.
Yeah. Anyways, yes, it belongs there.
Okay, The Sims.
Yes, it belongs there. I'm not thrilled about it. It's not something I would play there, but I think it should be there.
I think a better game would be something like SimCity.
Well, the reason being is that The Sims is more about interacting with the people in the world versus the actual city management.
I'm not a big. I just don't.
SimCity 2000 too.
Yeah,
man, I loved it when that robot showed up.
And on to the next, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes,
certainly.
Yeah, I mean, it was the first true competitor to Mario in the 2D platformer genre, and it really pushed 16-bit graphics when they first originated. That was amazing.
It's one of my favorite platformers of all time.
Yep,
easily, not even a question.
Very solid game, very fun.
Yeah. Space Invaders.
Yeah, I think it should be there. I mean, here's the thing: you could trade out Space Invaders for Centipede, and I would agree. They're both the same, in my opinion.
Funny you mentioned Centipede. Anyway, we'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
I think it's definitely deserving. There was like a big fever about this game once upon a time too.
Oh yeah.
You know what?
You had to get that UFO, man. You just had to get that UFO.
The whole game fit into 8 kilobytes of memory. Think about that.
Jeez.
What developers did at that point. And you know what? Even they talk about impossible ports every now and again. The Atari version of Space Invaders is an impossible port.
Yeah.
4 kilobytes. They got it down to 4 kilobytes for an Atari release.
That's impressive.
Crazy. Donkey Kong.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, what else can you say about it? It's Donkey Kong. It's literally like when people think of going to the arcades, they think of playing Pac-Man and Donkey Kong before they think of anything else.
Yeah, Donkey Kong is iconic.
Yeah.
The only thing going back and playing it recently, I don't know why I put up with this as a kid, but I as much as I think Donkey Kong is a good game, I will never play it again.
Yeah.
I hate the sound he makes when he moves. I can't stand it. I can't do it anymore. Nope.
Honestly, I actually do prefer Donkey Kong Jr. over this one. And Donkey Kong 3 is a totally different beast.
Yeah.
But, it's also fun to play because you're literally spraying pesticide up Donkey Kong's butt as you're trying to get him off screen, so it's kind of funny.
It's true.
Yeah.
Halo Combat Evolved.
I mean, that's a tough one. Because I think you already have Doom to say this is the progenitor of, modern first-person shooters. But Halo's also just something different.
Halo was a phenomenon in and of itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
And definitely deserving to be on the list.
Yeah.
Pokemon. Red and green.
Yeah,
I think they mean red and blue.
No.
Was it green in Japan?
There was a green.
Was there?
No, I'm messing with you. It's red and blue.
I'm like, wait a minute.
I'm messing with you.
I'm like...
Yeah, no, they say red and green on the website. It's red and blue.
Yeah.
Because it was Blastoise and Charmander were the two.
Yeah, okay. Anyway.
Which, I mean, let's be honest, Blastoise for the win.
Yeah.
Giant turtle cannons out of his arms.
All I'm going to say about this game is there's a ton of people who play this who claim to hate turn-based JRPGs, and yet
they play this.
Pokemon
absolutely. This is absolutely an RPG.
And turn-based Japanese RPG.
You're kidding yourself if you do not believe that. So
okay. Street Fighter 2.
Yes.
It has to be in there.
Absolutely.
Has to be.
When you go to the arcade and there was 15 different cabinets of Street Fighter 2, you knew that there was something going on. There was something magical about this game.
I mean, I don't know what to say other than this put fighting games on the map.
Absolutely.
I mean, there were fighting games before this.
Street Fighter 1.
Yeah.
And it couldn't compare to this.
Yeah, this was the first truly iconic fighting game. I remember fighting people in the arcade in this game when it was new.
I mean, there was Yi Ar Kung Fu, which is still a great game.
Sure.
But in terms of popularity, this is outclassed all of them.
Yeah, but I mean, we went on school trips and we went to a Funway. There was a place called Funway, and they had go-karts and other things like that, but they also had an arcade.
Yeah.
And I fought my schoolmates in this game a ton. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Next game is Final Fantasy VII.
Yes, only because it really showed that 3D RPGs could be a thing.
I could understand it from that angle. I'm just wondering why there's not a different RPG than this one out there.
Well, because of its popularity. When it first came out, it was such a big deal.
Yeah.
And people say that it is life-changing for them. But
okay.
But the truth is, it did have a big impact on the video game space. So
yeah. Speaking of big impacts on video game space, John Madden Football.
Yeah, I guess I would rather have NFL Blitz, but that's me.
No, this game deserves to be on this list because this was the first time you actually had 11 on 11 in a football game.
Right. I think for me it's the matter of I'm not looking at this as a Hall of Fame, as in like most popular video games, but like my own personal arcade.
Sure.
And so yes, I would rather have NFL Blitz.
And no, I don't mind. I mean, I think in modern times it's not a very good game, but what it ushered in and what it did.
Oh, absolutely,
very,
absolutely.
very
No, it has every right to be there.
Yep. Okay, so
Mentioned this one earlier.
we mentioned this one in a different episode, yeah.
Well, no, we mentioned it earlier in this podcast too.
But this game basically is recognized as the first video game and entirely deserves to be on this list.
Mm-hmm.
Space War, made in 1962.
Yeah.
And
It's older than us.
Thank God. But just the MIT, I think it was done at MIT, and one of the guys there, scientists, made this game, and they would play it like at night and stuff. Like, there's a pretty good story behind this game, but this is literally the progenitor of all video games.
Yeah, you would not have video games today if it was not for Space War.
Yeah, it's great.
Some people like to think it's Pong, but no, it's truly Space War.
Yeah, truly Space War. Pong didn't come until 10 years later.
Yeah.
The next one is Tomb Raider.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
There's so many other games that did this better before it came out.
It was a phenomenon at the time. I get it. But...
It was a phenomenon because her chest was very pointy. And that was the only thing people cared about. Like, they literally... so many things I could say about this that I'm not going to.
Yeah,
but the fact is, this game, this early series was overrated.
Yes.
When you got to the new Tomb Raider, the new remake and everything, those games are fantastic.
I mean, there's the whole open Laura project, and I think that's really cool, and people are putting this game on systems that have no business having it.
Yeah.
But still, I just don't think it's a very good game.
I mean, if you look at it as... Because I know of a lot of younger women at this point who, when they were girls, this game came out. So for them, they had a strong female lead. You could say that, but then I would just argue, well, Metroid. Metroid was far more popular.
But you didn't even know Samus was a girl until the very end.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about by the time this game came around, everybody knew Samus was a girl. So
yeah, I guess so.
Anyways.
Okay, so here's an interesting one.
Yes.
Colossal Cave Adventure.
Absolutely. It should be on here. It's a text adventure.
I
love text adventures. They're stupid.
Text adventures do need to be represented.
And to quote my dear friend Strongbad, do you go north, south, or Dennis?
Dennis, obviously.
Yes, you go Dennis.
All right, the next one's an interesting one, in my opinion, that it made it. Microsoft Solitaire.
Yes. I mean, it's Solitaire, though.
Yeah.
Does it really need to be? I don't know.
But the whole point behind having that on the computers back then was to get you using the mouse and getting some agility with the mouse.
Yeah.
That's really why it was in there. And also so that Congress people could play solitaire rather than pass laws, as famously caught. I forget which one got caught, but someone got caught.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's deserving in a historical context, not in a this is a great game context. But
right.
That's the only reason it makes it.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another fighting game, Mortal Kombat.
Yes. This game has done so much. It has rocked the video game world when it came out. It was... People say that this game, look at this game specifically, even though there were much more violent games up till this point, people look at this game saying, this is the reason why the ESRB exists.
Yeah,
So I can see why you want to put it in the Hall of Fame.
That's the only reason I would put it in the Hall of Fame. I think as a series, it pales in comparison to many other fighting game series.
Absolutely.
Even the newest one is not as good as a lot of fighting games out there.
And gore factor. Okay, let's talk about gore factor. You want something really gory?
Yeah,
dude, Splatterhouse beat this thing to pieces. Splatterhouse was brutal.
It's good old Splatterhouse.
And way more fun.
Speaking of fun,
yes.
Super Mario Kart.
Yes, it's got to be on here. It's
I played a ton of this.
Yeah.
I won't really play Mario Kart much nowadays, but in my youth,
Your youth.
played Mario Kart, Super Mario Kart.
Yeah, dude,
quite a bit.
this was so much fun.
It was
Actually,
very,
you know, there's now an arcade version of Mario Kart.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I did play that once.
that's fun too.
Once.
Yeah.
Here's one that I'm not really sure should be on here. Bejeweled?
Yes, only because it brought in a new era of puzzle matchmaking games.
Yeah,
So that's the only reason being.
I guess.
Yeah.
All right, I'll move on. All right, Centipede.
Yes, I already stated earlier it should be on here.
Yeah. Honestly, I never really played Centipede very much until recently.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, if I was to play this when I was a lot younger, I'd probably have a lot more favorable view on it, but I thought it was pretty decent.
Yeah, no, I love Centipede. Despite the fact that when I was a kid, I was a massive arachnophobe, so the spider coming on the screen would always kind of disrupt my gameplay a little bit.
Yeah.
Because that was more terrifying to me than the giant centipede screaming down the screen at me. But yeah, no, I love Centipede.
Centipede. Definitely worth checking out.
Yep.
All right, so here's one I know nothing about. King's Quest.
Yes, it should be on here because this type of walking around, interacting with the environment to solve puzzles, this type of gameplay is very, very good.
Okay.
And many games have come from this concept. So yeah,
Okay.
good job.
We'll go with that. Here's one that
You don't like, but you agree it should be here.
Yeah. Minecraft
Absolutely should be here. Just because I don't know why they're using The Simpsons for their picture. It's kind of weird. But yeah, no, Minecraft changed the world again.
Yeah.
So
It did.
It belongs.
I'm not a builder.
Yeah.
I just don't do it. I understand why people like it. We're going to move along.
Right.
Animal Crossing.
No.
Okay, I agree.
There's no reason this should be on here. There's so many other games that have done this before it. They have done it after it. There is zero reason for Animal Crossing to be on this list.
Nintendo's pull is great.
Uh-huh.
Here's one that I think is deserving. Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Yeah, I mean, would you rather have like one of the newer ones put in to like just say, hey, play this so you have an idea what's going on, but this is what the original game was like. Microsoft Flight Simulator was amazing. Just, I was terrible. I was.
Yeah, no, I'm terrible at it too.
Oh yeah, I can't tell you how many times I started flying and within like 3 seconds of takeoff, my plane was upside down.
Yeah.
And heading towards the ground. It was all terrible.
It was actually trying to be a sim, and so
same with there was one that was also about using the helicopter. Oh,
Yeah.
so bad. Oh.
Well, moving along here. A real-time strategy game, StarCraft.
I think if you did either StarCraft or Warcraft, you would be fine.
Yeah.
I don't think you'd need to do both. But yeah, just the concept of building your units, building your base to build your units, and then trying to overtake the map. Very cool game. Very cool game.
It is very good.
Yes.
It's very good. All right, so here's another one that I'm like, why is this on here?
No, this one totally belongs on here.
Do you think so?
Absolutely.
Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
Yes, no, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? When I was in elementary school and I would go to the library, there were always kids on the computers playing Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. Why? Because it taught you the world. You learned this was like one of the first educational games that was fun. In fact, if you look at most of the educational games that came out when we were kids, they were garbage.
Yeah.
Oh man, but no, Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? That whole series, yeah, absolutely deserving.
Okay. Here's one that I think is deserving.
Yeah.
Dance Dance Revolution.
Dance Dance Revolution. Come on.
Yeah, started that whole created a genre for itself. Really,
that started our friend's massive addiction.
Yes.
Back when he and I were college roommates.
Yeah.
And we got in trouble with the girls on the floor beneath us because they did not like us dancing and revolutionizing, because we slammed on the pad when we were jumping. Man, it was fun though. Good exercise.
All right, so here's with 2 games on the list. I don't know. Zelda: Ocarina of Time. The Legend of Zelda.
Overrated. Moving on. Shots fired. The game is overrated. Every time I've tried to play it, I've gotten incredibly bored. The overworld map is so empty. It's boring.
Yes, I will agree with that. The fact that it doesn't get slammed for its open world more often, is just kind of crazy, because you can go from one place to another, never see a single enemy
or person.
Yeah,
it's so boring.
All it is just a time sink to get you from one place to the other.
Yes, this one didn't deserve to be in my opinion. All right,
but it's remembered fondly because the time period it came out in.
I don't care.
Wow.
Anyways, moving on.
Okay.
I'm bitter.
Apparently. Namco's bitter about the next one, if you ask me. Miss Pac-Man.
Yes, it belongs.
It belongs, but it's also sad because of how Midway treated the whole Pac-Man franchise when it brought it over here. For those that are not aware, Midway got the rights to Pac-Man. And then when they released it in the United States, there was no mention of Namco at all. They treated that license
like it was
as if they made it. So they licensed the Pac-Man name to other places. And Miss Pac-Man was a arcade board mod for Pac-Man. When Pac-Man started to wane in popularity, someone made Miss Pac-Man as a mod to arcade boards that was cheap and easy to do. So people did it. But they also licensed the name and somewhat for my favorite Pac-Man game, Junior Pac-Man.
Yep.
And the fact that there's all these legal loopholes and people who need to be paid to be able to release Junior Pac-Man again, we're never going to see it.
Right.
It's depressing, really.
So you could actually say that Miss Pac-Man, though, is really the first modded game.
Yeah, considering the time period, yeah.
So there's reason for it to be there.
1982.
But yeah.
Unless someone knows of a mod to a game before 1982, that's the oldest one I know.
Yeah, tell us in the comments down below.
This is one deserves. It's very deserving.
Sid Meier's Civilization, yes.
Yep. The the thing I remember most about this game is my super militia. We had a militia that the first one we ever built in the game, and it survived until 2000 AD and took on mechanized infantry and won. We immediately retired him after that. We're like, okay, Pitchfork Man, you're good to go. You're done.
I think I've told the story on the podcast before, but my favorite Civilization story is one from when I played Revolution, and I was playing as Abraham Lincoln, and I was taking over the world in my mech infantry units. And so it's like Cyber Lincoln and his mechs and nukes, and I was like, it's a good time.
Here's one that's confusing. Barbie fashion designer.
No, I think it belongs, because just because it ain't for you don't mean it shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame.
But was it even that popular? I don't even think it was.
For girls, yes.
Yeah.
Times have changed, though.
Okay, here's what I really don't know. Computer Space.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I don't know much about it at all. But apparently you got points for every enemy hit. And it's just a classic video game in that sense. So, okay. And inducted this year. Interesting. Last year.
Yeah.
The Last of Us.
No.
Resident Evil deserves this spot before The Last of Us.
Get ready to fight me, Internet. The Last of Us is overrated.
I'm going to fight you. It's a great game.
No, it is garbo. The only parts of this game that were cool was when you weren't fighting the clickers. Like the whole story in between was literally just about Joel and Ellie. That part was amazing. The other part could have been a totally separate game. It should have been a totally separate game. The Last of Us video game is Spider-Man 3 in video game format. Fight me in the comments.
Okay, so now that delusion of a rant is over, I think it's very deserving to be on the list, but not ahead of Resident Evil. Resident Evil deserves to be on this list.
Resident Evil deserves to be on this list. Yes. Last of Us does not.
Here's one that I am conflicted about.
Yes, this one deserves. It belongs.
Oh, come on. Wii Sports? Really?
Yes.
Wii Sports?
Dude, this game alone made the Wii popular. This game alone brought generations together.
It brought all the grandma and grandpas together to play bowling, and then they promptly put down their remotes and never played another video game again.
No. This one was a hot thing when my dad bought a Wii and brought it to his house and started having the family come over, all the grandkids, and my mom. My mom is not a video game player. She's never played video games. She's never really liked video games. Loved Wii Sports. Loved bowling, yes. But we would get the whole family to play like the baseball and all the other sports together. We would change out who was swinging, who was pitching. We would do that kind of stuff. It was fun.
Okay, your family aside, everybody else stopped playing it immediately.
No, just in your mind. This game is very popular and very deserving to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, well, that makes one of us who thinks that.
Yeah, same thing about Last of Us, so there you go.
The difference is The Last of Us is a good game.
No, the difference is the Wii Sports is fun.
Oh, man. At any rate, that's the whole list, everybody. We went through every game on the list.
Yeah, so, we got way further than we intended to in our time. So,
all right,
let us know what you guys feel about the Hall of Fame. Let us know if you got any questions about anything else we've talked about today. We really, even if you don't have questions, if you have opinions or concerns or whatever, just put them in the comments so we can talk to you. We really want your feedback. So
certainly,
we're gonna get out of here. Thank you guys so much for listening to us. We hope you have yourselves a fantastic day, a fantastic week, and have some fantastic games. Until next time, we will see you in the next one.
Take care.
Later.